So, the first thing when I'm trying to draw a face, I usually begin with an eye, and then I will make the eyebrows next to wet, because this is actually what makes the drawing look good or bad from the first step for me. This is the big measurement that I need to master, and then from now on, I do the nose and then the second eye, and make sure you put them on the same line. Here I made a mistake that it's not on the same level, but I will fix it later. From now on, I start to build the whole face, put the hair, try to make the mouth, and keep in mind the scale. Whenever I'm putting something new, like the mouth, I keep the scale of the nose and the eyes in mind, so it will make sense at the end of the day. Here is the reference that I actually made. It's not the original reference because I couldn't find it, but here is an artwork that I did from the same reference. It's on my Instagram, so you can check it out. And when I'm trying to do it traditionally on paper, I went for a more realistic look rather than just stylizing it like I did in the digital one. And I know it's not looking the same, and I meant it that way, but I just wanted to try different styles. I don't want to get comfortable with something and lose the other, you know? After I made some soft lines, I added more lines on the top to keep more contrast in my drawing, so it has more depth. Then I start to add shadows to the eye, the eyebrows and the eyelashes, plus some soft shadows on the eyes. This is actually the way I like to make shadows. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, like it's not 100% realistic, but I like to do this way. I feel it's more artistic if I can say that. At the same time, it gives some similar values to the real reference, so it still makes sense. I do some very light hatching, and then go over it into darker places to make them even darker. I actually did all of that with just one pencil, a 2B pencil, but I try my best to get different values from it. This is the way I actually like to do my drawings. I don't like to use fancy tools or too many things on drawing. I actually hate it when I even erase something because it always leaves marks. For the hair, I struggled a bit. I didn't know how to make the shadows properly or even realistic, but I tried it to keep it as simple as I could. I didn't like drawing every single strand of the hair because it takes a lot of time and effort, and at the same time, it doesn't look good at the end. So I just draw the strands that I feel need to be darker to give the right form of the hair. For this piece, I wanted to do something different from what I usually do. So I went for a side profile. I kept it small, not on a big scale, because I found it easier to control my edges and see clearly when drawing smaller. I'm not very comfortable drawing this profile, but I think I turned it out really good. I try to use the elements I already put on paper as a reference. For example, I check where the ear ends compared to the nose, and I do this for every drawing. This helps me maintain the overall scale so I don't draw a big eye with a smaller nose or vice versa. You get the point. You need to keep a consistent scale in your drawing. Sometimes I leave some marks that are unrealistic, and it might not make much sense, but I liked it this way. It adds a more artistic look to my traditional drawings. I don't aim for total realism. For the hair, I just draw some strands that have more valleys than others, and then add shadows between them to connect everything. Here I went for a very different expression. And after I drew the first eye, I made a line to the other eye so I will make sure it's on the same level. Then I just draw some lines from them to make the nose, as you can see. I always try to use the things I draw as references for other things, so it will make sense at the end of the day. at this stage, I was questioning a lot of things. I did the two drawings on the same paper, and I wondered how I could complete this without ruining the other. So I tried not to interfere with the other drawing while doing this. But yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, but it went well. For the eyebrows, I went straight and added some strands, then added more shadow. For the nose, I darkened some areas. For the mouth, I added darker values to the space between the lips because there are shadows from the upper lip onto the lower lip. For that reference, I went more into details. I'm not exactly sure why, but it felt like it was on a bigger scale, and it wouldn't have looked as good without adding shades. I tried to add more details, but at the same time, not overdoing it, so I wouldn't lose the overall look. I think I didn't go too far with it. What do you think about that? For the cheeks, I added more shading. I know it doesn't look very realistic, but I want it to look more sharper rather than realistic. And as you can see, I left some marks on my drawing because it gives the illusion of a lot of details without actually adding too many. It creates the artistic look I like for my drawings. For the hair, I tried to make the fading on the sides. I went with my normal way of shading, putting layer on top of layer to give it that look. It was pretty satisfying at this moment. I also tried to make the hair more defined by adding basic shades first, then layering more shades. This way, I don't feel frustrated with all the details I have to do. It also gives me a better vision of the overall look without doing too much detail. Then I used an eraser to remove details I didn't like or to give the appearance of reflections or areas with more light. It's always about the values. As you can see, I didn't give the hair too many details, but it still looks nice to me. And that was it. Let me know what you guys think about that, and if you want to see more videos about this content, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any question, just let me know and I will answer you, and I will see you in the next one.